and final meeting of the Finance Committee to review the 2026 proposed budget. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Roll call, please.
Selby,
Here.
Williams,
Here.
Garrett,
Here.
Basham,
Here.
McIntosh,
Here.
Dishman,
Present.
Green,
Here.
Mason,
Here.
Powell.
Here.
All present.
Thank you. All right, now I will entertain a motion to suspend the rules so that we can add the minutes from the September 3rd, 5th, and 9th meetings to the agenda for adoption.
Second.
I'm not sure which one of you
It's
gentlemen.
unanimous.
I'll go ahead and take Councilperson Basham, seconded by Councilperson Gullion. So let's take a roll call on the motion.
Basham,
Yes.
Garrett,
Yes.
Selby,
Yes.
Dishman,
Yes.
McIntosh,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Powell.
Yes. And now I will entertain a motion to adopt the minutes from the previous three city. Do we need to do those one at a time, or can we do them together?
I say one at a time.
One at a time.
One at a time it is. So I will entertain a motion to adopt the minutes from the September 3rd meeting.
So moved. Second that.
Motion by President Mason, seconded by Councilman Garrett. Roll call, please.
McIntosh,
Yes.
Basham,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
Dishman,
Yes.
Garrett,
Yes.
Selby,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Powell.
Yes. And now entertain a motion to adopt the minutes from the September 5th meeting.
So moved.
I'm going to go with Councilman
Fun with it.
McIntosh on that one. Give everybody a turn. And Councilperson Selby.
No, I did not.
You didn't tell me? Okay.
I'll second that.
Seconded by Councilman Garrett. Roll call, please. On
Selby,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Garrett,
Yes.
McIntosh,
Yes.
Basham,
Yes.
Dishman,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Powell.
Yes. And entertain a motion to adopt the final minutes from the September 9th meeting.
So moved. Second.
Councilman Green made that
That gets
motion,
better.
and Councilman Garrett was on the spot with the second. Roll call, please.
Garrett,
Yes.
Dishman,
Yes.
Selby,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
McIntosh,
Yes.
Basham,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Powell.
Yes. Okay, so all of the previous minutes are adopted, and these minutes will be adopted at the next Finance Committee meeting, whenever that might be. We are meeting tonight because we need to discuss the information we've received from the budget, from the department heads, and because there are 9 members of the Finance Committee, we cannot meet without it being a public meeting. So tonight's meeting will be more of a discussion, a controlled discussion, of course. And at the end of the meeting, we will welcome comments from the audience. First, I wanted to touch base on a few emails that have been received and answers provided for questions asked. The first one is from Mayor Ridenour on September the 10th. Let me make sure I have this.
Yes.
Yes, so Mayor Ridenour, he answered the question. He said there was not clarity, or that council, myself, didn't have clarity on negotiations for the 3 unions. He explained that there is a 4% raise for all employees that is budgeted. And my comment to that was just, it wasn't that I didn't understand, it was just I felt that it was difficult to adopt a budget when we were still in negotiations. Number 2, I had asked in an email what the civil employees' raises had been, and he provided raises, the percentages for the years. He had provided those figures. For civil employees, it was 4% in 2021, 0% in 2022, 2% in 2023, 10% in 2024, 5% in 2025, and then 4% proposed for this year, which means that the civilian employees have had 21% raises, actually more than that because it would have compounded over the years, but a 21% raise in the past 5 years, and that was the answer to that question. In regards to the comment I made to Mr. Leach regarding the motor vehicle highway restricted funds, Mayor Ridenour did send the State Board of Accounts rules showing that you can use some of those restricted funds for salaries. What I did though, and what I read off was, and everyone has a copy, it's from the State Board of Accounts 2023 findings. And you actually can use those, but we use those in error because, let me see again, internal controls over motor vehicle restricted funds were insufficient to ensure compliance with Indiana code. The city used the incorrect fund numbers for motor vehicle highway and motor vehicle restricted funds. The city failed to post at least 50% of funds received from the state motor vehicle highway account to the motor vehicle fund. Therefore, the motor vehicle highway restricted fund was incorrectly used to pay for employees' expenses related to signal electricians, sign crews, paint and sign materials, signal equipment, tree removal expenses, striping and road marking expenses, health insurance, employee uniforms, and equipment rather than construction, reconstruction, and preservation. So I think the error had more to do with the fact that they did not receipt enough money into that fund, so therefore it was not a valid expense. So everyone has a copy of that, and that is from the 2023 State Board of Accounts report. Let's see. Then I had asked Mr. Deegan to follow up because I emailed back in February both of the union presidents for our police and fire unions. Mr. Qualls, the president of the FOP, had said that he was not sure the answer. He gave me what the contract had been approved of, but it was a 2025-26 contract, which obviously is not what we're going to follow through with. Because we are in negotiations. Councilperson Basham and Dishman are sitting in on those negotiations as representatives of council. But Mr. Deegan did email back. He said that, as I had asked, he said it's hard to ascertain the final cost of the 2025-26 CBA because of the fact that negotiations are still ongoing. He also said, he brought up that the City Council took action to reduce the police department budget of 2025 by $104,000, and 97% of that was directly from the patrol officer line item. I do want to point out that when we passed the salary ordinance in March of 2025, those items were made whole, so that's irrelevant. He offered that the projected increase in total sworn salaries will be approximately $270,000 of an increase from 24 to 25, or it was. And then he added again that the $97,000 could have been applied to associated costs. I argue that the $227,441,000 that the police department surrendered back to the general fund through resolution 1224 could have also been used for those purposes. And then he reported that they expect their lit totals to be higher. So those are those emails. Let's see, make sure I have all that housekeeping. Calculate the city budget, reductions, and lit totals, yes. So those are some responses and emails that we have received from questions that we have posed to the administration.
I have a question.
Yes, Councilperson Selby.
Okay, you referred to the 2023 highway did you check on the 2024? And what kind of answers did you get from the 2024, the most recent?
I have not been able to check
Is
yet.
there,
We just got that.
We just got that the other day, and I've been busy with a $65 million budget, so I have not had time to review it. Would you like to report?
no, I'm just asking because you just referred to the 2023 and you did not bring up 2024.
The 2024 was just emailed
This week.
This week. So I will review it and I will report back anything that we find, or you could do that
I
if you'd like.
sure could.
All right. So this is what we know. I would like to refer to, and then I'm going to muddle through some things and then we will open it up for discussion. I'm referring to the budget handout that Mayor Ridenour had at his press conference. Halfway, or a third down the page, he said that the total reductions that would had to be addressed because of Senate Bill 1 would be $1,436,096 that we will lose in 2026. And that is a striking number, especially given the fact that last year when we talked, we had already talked about how close the budget would be. He did, however, say that he was going to subsidize the general fund with $900,000 from edit. And there were some other measures that they were taking. He, let's see, how will we address this balance? Per Mayor Ridenour, he's going to subsidize with $900,000 to the general fund. The city has changed their healthcare provider. They are having a hiring freeze on January 1st, 2026 that will exclude public safety and streets, but will include every other department. They're going to be reviewing contracts and agreements, making adjustments as necessary, and they're going to look into transferring some positions from full-time to part-time. So we'll put that to the side. Now, so again, to recap, the total reduction is at least $1.4 million over next year, and the property tax cap impact over the entire budget is $28 million. Councilman Basham and I learned that at the meeting we had with the controller and the deputy controller August 5th.
Right.
The cost, let's talk about what's happening this year. The cost of the 5% raise that we did for police and fire and the civilian employees. Jason Chafin, he provided in February, which all of you received, a 2025-26 contract sheet. It's this paper here. Jason was very thorough in what he sent out, and we won't look at 2026, but he gave a change from 2024 to 2025. He didn't just include the salaries, and why I always ask Mayor Ridenour what the cost of the contract is as opposed to what are the salary increases, because as you can see in what Mr. Chafin has provided us, there are a lot of costs that go into the cost of the contract that are above and beyond salary. There's holiday pay, longevity pay, tech pay, and all of those. So President Chafin has valued their contract increase from 2024 to 2025 at $500,513.19. Let's write that down.
97 cents.
We'll just round that off. Mayor Ridenour, in an email that he sent on February 24th, that I gave you a copy of, has valued the police and fire, and we're gonna use police because I'm going to go with Mr. Chafin's totals because he included the associated costs of that. I think that's more accurate. But Mayor Ridenour said that the cost of the police contract for 2024 to 2025 will be $374,336. Okay, so that is a total of, let me get that, one moment, please. That means the total of the police and fire raises for this year, 5%, is $874,849. We paid for those raises out of opioid unrestricted funds, which are exhausted. We do not have that option. And even that didn't cover it. We had to use the savings that we were able to gather from the 3 positions where the funding was eliminated. That took over $174,000 and some change, 273. So that means just to pay for the raises that were provided this year to police and fire only is going to leave only $25,000 of the $25,151 of the $900,000 that we are subsidizing our general fund with. And that we haven't even covered the cost of AFSCME, 5%, civilian employees, 5%, and that's for this year. So, AFSCME, 5%, and civilian together for 5%. What I did is Mayor Ridenhour gave us the 4%. I just added 1% to that, simple math. And it AFSCME and civilians for this year is 161,078. So that means to cover the raises for 2025 going into 2026 that we are already contractually bound to provide, we need to have $1,035,927. Mayor Ridenhour offered today in an email, which I will find, I don't know.
Is it the one?
Yes. Thank you. Mayor Ridenhour offered, thank you, it's somewhere in here. Mayor Ridenhour offered today what the total for the city employees, police, fire, AFSCME, civil, and our elected officials, the total 4% raises for 2026 will be $839,034.05. Let's see. So that means those two totals together are $1.8 million. We are 1.4 in the hole, and we have already gone through the 900,000 subsidized for the general fund. So, let's have a discussion.
What was that amount in the hole?
Well, the state, SB1 will mean that we are, per Mayor Ridenhour's handout, SB1 says that we will be $1.4 million reduced, total reductions to be addressed, $1.4 million in 2026. Our raises that we provided this year cost the city $1,035,927. When they were provided last year, and they were used, we used opioid funds and the positions cut. I did ask at the time how we planned on paying for those this year, and we were told property tax increases. And unfortunately, Senate bill came along, it would have covered had we not had that Senate, SB1. So we are 1.4 in the hole. We are contractually obligated to $1,035,927 to cover what we have this year. We have promised and I feel our employees deserve it. Again, I just had that from you. $839,000 for this, $839,034 for 4% for 2026. So, if we take that, and I'm open. How are we gonna come up with that money so that we can, at the very minimum, pay our employees what Mayor Ridenhour has promised? Sarah, I'm sorry, Councilperson Gully, I'm so sorry.
No, that's fine. Well, I did notice, I mean, we're looking at, we don't have a lot to cut, right? We don't have tons to cut.
We've gotta come up with
We
about
do,
974.
yeah, but we do have a couple of line items that we removed last year that are back in, they're back in the budget. And that was line item, what was that?
What page is that on?
Well, this is on the first page. And the controllers, we still have the controller. Yes, page one, sorry. The controller and deputy controller. I believe that the deputy controller line was what was removed, along with, I don't remember exactly where the other one was. Looks like back on page 18.
18?
The Channel 60 director. No, is that the correct one?
Yes.
Okay. Those two were removed last year and now they're put back in. There we've got a total of, what?
146,588. just because I thought that same,
Okay.
if those two salaries plus the $18,000 for benefits would be 146,588.
Okay.
And these are just ideas.
Right, right.
Others, let's see. We could, and some of these will only get us, not much.
Yeah.
The department heads have seen 21% raises in the last 5 years. We could eliminate the raises for next year, the 4% raises from the department heads. And it would, while it would only save $26,000, that will cover some of the increases for our civilian and AFSCME employees. And because I don't believe that I would ever do ask employees to do something that I wouldn't be willing to do, I feel like if we did go with that decision, we should eliminate city council raises for 2026. We did not receive a raise in 2024. We received, in 2025, city council has gotten less than a 1% raise. And then in 2026, we were budgeted for 4%. It's less than $500. But that would just show good faith and that we are not going to ask our employees, our department heads to do something that we would not be willing to do ourselves. And this is just a discussion. We cannot reduce the salary from elected officials. So while we cannot reduce the salary for Judge Dunick, Mayor Ridenour, or the clerk Belinda Munson, we could let them know that if we are going to do that, offer to let them do that, and show good faith as well. But you cannot reduce an elected official's salary beyond what it is published. Just for political, because that could potentially be bad. So that's an option to extend that to them. Let's see.
And even though it's minuscule, may I?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, do you mind?
Please. No,
Okay,
no.
thank you. And even though it's minuscule, you'll note, or you'll recall that on an earlier discussion, I can't remember the date, but it was acknowledged that line item 1160 was, the overtime line item was a mistake.
Right.
Rather than $53,352, it's actually $5,300 and change.
So there's
So
48,000.
that is
Definitely.
not significant, but it is,
It's something.
and you're right, in light of eternity, it's not, but for this line item, it is.
48,000.
So let me put that somewhere.
Possibilities.
That's an easy one, yeah.
Yeah, that's the easiest one we're gonna talk about all night long. And what was that? I'm sorry, Councilman Ashman, 48,000?
48,000.
Well, it had
Okay,
been.
we'll just round it to that for now.
Sure. I think it was 53,352, and it was actually intended to be 53,35.
Now, and thank you.
Apparently, that extra digit was
Similar to
added
last.
Happens to the
erroneously.
best of us. Talking about the department heads, just for 2026, I know that would not be much savings. The bigger savings would be in our public safety department heads, but they, have the luxury of being not only department heads, appointed officials, but also they fall under the union. And so in addition to the 5% or 4% that they will get from the union bump, they also get longevity and all of these other things. But if we were able to do that, we would be saving more in those two departments than almost 3 times what we would be saving from the rest of the department heads. $31,309 out of Muncie Fire Department and $40,225 out of the police. Those are the increases for their department heads for 2026. Now, since we are unable to do that, and again, these are discussions and no one is suggesting that any positions are eliminated. What we could do is, the Muncie Police Department created an extra position of deputy chief. And that deputy chief, let's see, will make he's making $84,929 plus associated costs. We could reduce that from the general fund expenses and push that into their public safety lit to free up almost $90,000 in the general fund for other departments. It is not reducing, and I want to make sure that's on the record. I am not suggesting that we reduce positions. I am suggesting that we offset costs from the general fund and put it in the public safety lit. I believe it was Mr. Deegan that said that they still have over $160,000 in the Fund 106. Come right out, if you have a,
Yeah, you can reduce it from the general fund, but you can't put it in the lit, because that would be increasing the line item.
no, it would have to be in January. I'm sorry, I
Sure,
thought that was.
okay. I mean, I just,
No, and I appreciate you having
Okay.
our back there. And so, I'm sorry, any increases that we talk about would have to become after January.
Yeah.
So like if we were to discuss, I know that the clerk would like to increase out of her funds that she has within her department, but that wouldn't be able to happen until after January. So that
Thank you
would
for that
be,
reminder, really, because
Oh.
we always need to be reminded of that.
agreed. And so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. And I apologize, that's on me.
No.
I'm just so used to that.
Well,
I
for a
did
new
not-
guy, it's good to have that reminder.
No.
I appreciate it.
So, yes, so if we were to reduce that from the general fund and push that into lit, that position would still be there, it would still be funded. Both of our deputy chiefs do a fantastic job, but it would free up additional funds in the general fund. Police right now has 40% of the general fund, and fire takes up 34 point some odd percent. So that's 76% of our general fund is used by police and fire. Police and fire also have their public safety income tax. They have EMS dollars. They have Center Township dollars. They have. We just passed a parking ordinance, they get money from tickets, things along those lines. And I'm not saying I'm just saying that they do have opportunities for revenue streams that other departments don't have. And by, freeing up money in the general fund, we would be able to fund the animal shelter. We might not have to have a hiring freeze. We might be able to fund the raises that have been promised for 2026. Let's see.
May I add
Absolutely,
something?
Councilman.
And I will appreciate, or I just want to say that I appreciate the conversation we had throughout the other hearings with the department heads regarding possible revenue streams.
Yes.
It was really informative to me, and I hope to others as well, to realize that other funds are possible.
Yes.
Maybe painful, raising this and that, but still possible.
Yeah, that's a good point, because we have to look that there will be revenue coming into the city.
Right, right.
Through the departments from.
From police and fire? I just feel at a time when we're talking about a hiring freeze and encouraging people to go from full-time to part-time when they'll lose their benefits, that's something I really don't want to have to, I'm not comfortable with that. And it may happen, and that's not necessarily on council, but I feel like we should explore every opportunity and option, even if it's just discussed, so that we don't have to come to that. So,
Yeah.
I'm going to organize my things and open up the floor for anyone else to talk about possible cuts, so that we can come to the, let's see. I believe that we're going to have to cover just the raises for this year and next year, we need to find $974,961. Mr. Wright, does that sound with the totals that the mayor provided?
Yeah, you do know that he is providing $900,000 for medic.
Yes, because the original total is $1.8 million. And so that $974,000 total includes the $900,000 subsidies from edit to the general fund.
So we got healthcare savings. Now, we have a major healthcare savings.
That,
Is that reflected in?
could you step up to the microphone and tell us how much that is? And I understand that with that, I mean,
Yeah, I don't have the exact numbers, but I do know it is close to $1 million is what we're planning on saving on healthcare alone. I mean, what we pay out in the clinic is like $70,000 a month, which that's, we've reduced that greatly with the new healthcare that we're going to.
Can you
Can
talk a
you-
little bit more about that for us? Do you mind? I'm
that's
sorry.
fine. No, you're
I'm so
fine.
sorry.
No, I
I'm
understand.
sorry.
This is a tense subject, so I understand. Yes, could you, Councilman Basham would like to know a little bit more about switching from IU Health to Anthem. I believe
Yeah,
that's your-
I mean, we're able to save close to $1 million on that. That doesn't include the clinic savings that we're also saving per month. I mean, we're paying $70,000 a month now to IU Health for workplace services. And that's going to be reduced in half at the very minimum, so, yeah.
Councilperson Gullion.
Can you tell us, though, I mean, what the difference is? I mean, I think that for the employees, what they're getting for that, I mean, what exactly?
There,
the
there,
difference?
it's
When you're
not,
saying the clinic, are they not having a clinic any
yeah,
longer? or-
they still have the clinic and they're getting all the services they're getting now.
Where will the clinic be? Because I know it's not going to be at IU Health.
It's up in the north portion of town there. I don't know the exact address, but it's up off of Everbrook and that professional
Sure.
services, or professional parks up here.
Okay.
Councilperson Gullion.
Just to follow up, so can you get us just some real numbers then prior to our October 6th meeting?
Yeah, we can
We-
get what we're looking at saving on
We
that.
We need them,
real
yes.
numbers. We
Yeah.
need real numbers to see what the savings will be from the IU Health to Anthem.
We can. We could have brought them to the meeting if we'd have known it was going to come up. But I know that it's an organic discussion, so I mean, things come up and everybody's trying to work to get to the same place. So,
Well, and if
but-
we had known, because this is the first we've heard of it from you, and it's not in the miscellaneous revenue, it's not listed
well,
anywhere.
It's not revenue, it's expenses, and it's in the expenses. And the spreadsheets that we fill out for DLGF that are on their website show that we are not going to be 1.4 or 1.8 or whatever short, that we're going to be net positive at the end of '26.
I'm using the information that Mayor Ridenour not only provided at the press conference,
Right,
but
but
also went
I'm-
on the news, and he did a media tour.
I'm using the information that you were provided that you're going to pass a budget based on. And the DLGF has us put the expenses in the Form 1, and then DLGF's and the revenues and DLGF's formulas figure what the beginning balance is, the expenses, the revenues, and then the end result. So it's a net positive. I mean, I don't,
The conversation that we had with Judy Robertson on August the 5th did not seem hopeful at all, did it?
No, it did not. And to be fair, we suggested another meeting and thought that would happen. It did not.
It did not.
So whatever happened
Right.
between then and now,
there were issues with the DLGF website that we were working with
Sure.
as far as regarding the lit and
we
everything
recall
else.
those
And
things.
we've continued to try to get answers from DLGF as to why that fund dropped off. I mean, I've got pictures of the screens from this year's
Sure.
budget and next year's proposed budget. All I'm saying is, we entered in the revenues and the expenses, and we're net positive. So, because when you ran through your numbers, you didn't, and you didn't have access to the savings.
I do not have
Okay.
access to this.
And
You ran through your numbers, but you did not share those numbers with us.
it's in the budget.
But where? Form, which form?
I can't remember I believe it's
There's-
Form 4B.
Okay, and Form 4B says, what does it say? It talks about the max levy, it talks about,
No, it talks about what the beginning balance, cash balance is. It talks about, it has you put in your expenses, and it calculates the expenses from the Form 1 and the revenues based on the miscellaneous revenues, and then it calculates where you're going to be at the end of 2026. And it was a net positive. So, I mean, you're certainly within your purview to cut things, and that's fine. I mean,
Was that number
I'm
around?
sorry, Councilperson Gullion.
Okay, when did you have this updated number? In fact,
okay, I can email it out to you again.
but why haven't you? We've
It's-
been looking at this,
it's-
stressing
it's
about these
in-
numbers,
it's-
just like you all have, I'm
It's in the
sure.
budget that was submitted to the clerk's office.
Lacey, do you have a copy of the Form 4B that would have the information that they say that was provided? Yeah. Yes, please, I'm sorry, yes, please. Thank you.
Councilperson Bell.
Yes, I'm sorry, Councilperson Salvi, yes.
Was that the number around 400,000? Was that number the plus?
Can't remember off the top of my head, and of course, if I say something wrong, you know.
I know, no,
People are
just
gonna say
around,
things.
I think,
So,
So,
you see that.
can we, would you like to have a copy of these?
Eventually. Yeah. Because we won't make amendment, I'm sorry, again, I wasn't recognized.
Councilman Basham.
I'm sorry.
I'm
No, I'm a
Denise.
stickler about that.
Councilman.
Oh, okay.
Yes, yes, please.
Just for a timeline, we will discuss these possible savings and reductions this evening. And then when we are in our city council meeting on Tuesday, we will then submit amendments to the budget.
Well, we need to determine what the finance committee is going to recommend at some point in time, and unfortunately, we can't do that without meeting, and so,
Well, then let me just ask you this. The Finance Committee should vote tonight on its recommendations for the budget or not.
is there a public hearing prior to this October 6th meeting?
There is, but it's not relating to the budget. It's relating to another item on the agenda.
What we could do, if the finance committee is agreeable, we could schedule a meeting before that public hearing to talk about whatever we feel that will give us time, it will give us
Yeah,
a week
look at those
to
numbers
look
again.
at this and
Agreed.
determine,
And then we would be prepared to actually vote yay or nay on those
Monday.
amendments at our city council meeting.
I would also like I would like to see a copy of the savings from from the insurance company. I would like to see where we are saving $1 million from that. Trust but verify, my grandpa used to always say.
Did you answer that question? I don't think so.
Yes, so we will, I'm so sorry. We have, people shook their heads, so I guess we need something more permanent for the record. Is everyone agreeable to meet, the finance committee to meet before the public hearing on October the 6th?
Sure.
To come back and discuss amendments that the finance committee will be suggesting?
Yes, and will we also vote in that meeting? Because I suspect that the Finance Committee will not be voting unanimously on any amendment. That's my suspicion.
Agreed. Other than the one to reduce the overtime.
Right.
I believe that will probably be the only one that makes it out.
and 1.5 million in MVH.
I'm just trying to understand what the process is,
Yeah.
getting ready to,
Is it, so
getting ready to be.
yeah.
So I can be prepared and pick my,
Well, let's put it to the committee. What do you want to do? Let's have a discussion on what has to happen at the meeting before the meeting.
if last year is, if precedence is prologue, I recall receiving 3 amendments on the day of our council meeting last year for consideration that evening. I suspect that since we did it that way this year, we could do it this way, that
That's-
way
I agree.
this year.
That's fine with me.
Sure.
So would we be
We
voting?
would not need a special meeting.
Okay.
Okay, so.
We would just review those,
You're
those,
suggesting, just for clarification, you're suggesting that we have just a handout of potential.
proposed,
Proposed.
And vote
then
on
we
them.
would,
we would vote up or
I like
down.
that.
up or down at the meeting?
Yes, at the meeting.
At the formal meeting, or at,
At the formal meeting, when we are voting on amendment, as we did last year.
Yeah.
I recall there were 3 amendments last year
well. but
presented
we
on the
had
day
already
of.
decided that those were, because, and they were very easy they were very easy to do. They were an error in health insurance. They were a voluntary
Sure.
reduction from the fire department, and there was one other, I can't remember what it was, but those were all very simple ones. And so we were able to put those on a piece of paper and vote those through.
Sure,
So I'd like to see that happen again this year too.
sure. I
Because
think
that
so,
way
too.
I'm like,
That way we can
I
vote
may agree on
yay
one,
or
but,
nay
yeah.
on every amendment that's presented.
I
Okay,
think that's a great idea.
then, okay, that's fine by me.
And I,
So as the chair,
That's,
you
no,
know.
that's fine. So that's what we'll do. We will have a handout at the, well, who compiles that?
Well, you're the chair. Who comprised it last year?
I did, but I did it based on what we talked about at the final meeting. So we had, at the final meeting, we had said, these are 3 that we know we're going to be doing.
Well,
So that
I suspect that this year's vote on the amendments might be less than unanimous.
Oh, I absolutely agree. But again, I think the only thing that the finance committee potentially can agree on is the reduction in the motor vehicle that was a duplicate of 1.5. Unfortunately, that won't help the 1.5 million over. And then the $48,000 out of overtime in the controllers.
Sure.
So.
I can email out that Form 4B to everybody tomorrow
We
morning.
should have this, but
It-
again, it
it's-
doesn't jive
it
with
was in-
even the emails I've gotten from Judy Robertson since this was filed. Thank you.
Chairperson Powell.
Well,
Councilperson
she-
Selby.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Is there a way, like,
Okay.
when we come on Monday, if I have an amendment, I have copies for everybody, just have one, will not want us to vote on that? Or would
Yes,
that be
and
too
I
much?
want to be very clear that even if you put an amendment forth as the finance committee to consider,
Yeah.
if you feel strongly about that, you can still bring it forth at the regular meeting.
Sure.
So if,
Yes.
if Councilman Garrett wanted to make an amendment and it didn't float at the finance committee, it does not mean that he cannot, or
Bring
it
it
does
up.
not mean that he can't bring that forward during the meeting. Every member of this council has the right
Sure.
and the responsibility to suggest cuts that they feel are responsible fiscally at this point in time. So, all right, so we have established that we will be bringing our own amendments or motions, so then really, I believe that the finance committee won't really be making a formal recommendation if things are,
I would suggest that's the correct,
yeah, I think
Assumption.
that the finance committee will not be making, other than the 1.5
Yep, that's it.
and the 48. Councilman Garrett.
Yeah, Craig Mack, I think that's great, a good idea. Could we get that, if legally possible, from the insurance company, like letting us know the exact amount for sure, what it is and
yeah,
what we're saving? Like that.
I
And
would-
can we have that before,
Yeah.
not the day before?
Right, right.
need this
Absolutely.
now.
Yeah.
And to build on what Councilman Garrett's saying, if you have it, upstairs. You should be able to provide it to us tomorrow. And
I-
I would like to see it not just in a letter, an email from
No.
the mayor. I would like to see it from the insurance agent that you're dealing with.
Because that changes, that's going to change.
I would
Right.
like
About
to
the
see
whole-
it.
about
The expense-
everything.
The expense for the insurance is in the budget.
Okay.
Okay,
But Councilwoman
Sorry.
Selby.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead. Councilwoman Selby.
okay. With that, would you please like compare and contrast the benefits that they're getting? Like from switching insurance companies, are they?
That's- And I agree that that's important, but
At this point?
It's,
yeah, at this point, we need to
Okay.
talk about money.
right, well, and they won't
And
change.
I agree. I think it's very important that we're able to offer the best benefits to our employees, and it's sad that we're changing, et cetera, et cetera. I
They
understand
wouldn't
how-
change because unless there are extenuating circumstances, we can't reduce a benefit
Right.
Okay.
based on
Okay, so
based
that
on a
answers my
collective
question.
bargaining agreement.
Thank you.
Got it,
That
got it,
answers
got
my
it.
question, sorry.
Yeah.
And
you're
so,
fine.
was there a question from you, Councilperson Gullion? And was there a question down here?
No.
All right, so what we have decided, just for my own recap, is that we will, more than likely, two items that we will most likely make it through are the 1.5 reduction from motor vehicle highway, the 48,000 from the controller's overtime. Those will most likely be the ones, but then everyone else is able to bring their own amendments. Councilperson Gullion.
I mean, I would say, why don't we just vote on those two that we know are doing right now? That's two less things that we have to worry about at the meeting.
I'm not ready to vote. I
You're
need
not
to
ready
vote.
to do the 1.5 million that was a duplicate in motor vehicle you don't have to.
Yeah, I'm not ready, I'm sorry. I would rather do it all on this council meeting.
All right, so, is there other discussions on other things? I know during the three meetings that we had, I know that Councilman Basham asked about several different things, and perhaps, I'm hoping that there are other cuts. I'm really hoping. So, anyone else have any other discussion regarding potential reductions in the line items that we did not? Okay, so we should expect to have something from the insurance agent, from the controller tomorrow. I mean, I think I think that tomorrow being Wednesday, the meeting on Monday, when we're going to be voting on this budget, I think tomorrow is a good deadline. It's an appropriate deadline. It's information that you should have. Again, I would like it to be a letter from an agent as opposed to a letter from yourselves or from the Mayor Ridenour. I would like to be able to verify that with that agent, if I need to. And
Right,
those,
I don't know that we have a letter, and the,
do you have an email?
and the meeting is not next Monday, it's the following Monday.
Oh, thank you.
As long as it's
But we
sometimes
will
this week
provide-
would be.
And
good.
I'll tell you, to be honest with you, I was not in on the insurance meeting, so I don't have hard copies of everything. Usually there's hard copies, but I'll discuss it with the mayor and the controller. We'll get you everything that we have that shows the savings.
Deadline by Friday? Is that okay with the finance committee?
Yes.
Everyone's okay? Deadline by Friday, and we do need to see hard copies, sir. It's not,
I'm not saying that that you will not be provided hard copies. I'm saying I don't have hard
and I
copies.
understand, but
We will provide you documentation that shows the savings.
that we can verify with our insurance agent.
Well, it's not an agent, but it's a company, but yes.
That we can
Yes,
verify
can
with
be
someone
verified, yes.
outside of the city of Muncie.
Absolutely,
Okay,
Thank you.
because,
absolutely.
okay.
Right, we use those numbers to enter the insurance costs into the budget.
Well,
proposed
and again, I do appreciate that you brought that up now as far as the 4B, but the information that we had at that meeting on August 5th was very, very bleak. I think the four of us that were in there were very, very concerned.
Yep.
We talked about that. She said that actually we should consider a 10% reduction across the board. And that, I remember turning to Councilman Basham and saying, this is
Well,
really bad.
Right,
Weeping.
And that, yeah, well, right.
That's what we
And
did.
that-
No, yes,
that
and the
could-
elevator on the way down.
And that could only happen if you reduced force in your public safety, and I know none of us want to do that.
No, and no one's suggesting that. For the record, no one is suggesting, none of the things that were discussed today talk about, eliminating positions. They talk
Right.
about moving funding from one source to the
Absolutely.
other. However, I am,
We'll get you documentation on the insurance. I'm happy to send out another copy of the Form 4B. I know there's a lot of forms and everything. It's on the DLGF website, and it was in the packet that was
We've had it,
submitted to
we've
the
had
clerk's
it,
office.
and I can't lay my hands on it right
Right,
this minute,
right,
but I know
right.
that I've seen it.
no, we have
And
had.
we have
it
it.
was-
Yes,
Ordinance 30.
yes, that's right.
So
So,
anyway,
but
we'll
to
get you.
Who provides those numbers that go into 4B? Those are numbers that the administration provides, correct?
Yes,
Okay, so you've provided those numbers, and they reflect property taxes and they reflect miscellaneous revenue, correct?
yes,
And miscellaneous revenue is generated, those totals are generated by you, everything other than property taxes and
No.
local income taxes?
no.
Yes, I've
The
got it.
state, the state provides some of the miscellaneous revenue.
Which
We
ones?
provide like your CVET, your SIG tax, your, I mean,
Commissioners, all
it's
the,
excise tax, the state provides all of that. We provide things like building permits, things of that nature, things that departments charge, because of course the state doesn't have access to that, but the state, for the revenues that they actually collect, they give us an estimate on the miscellaneous revenue for
on
those.
September the 8th,
money.
and I'll forward this to you, and I'll forward this to other members of the council. Mrs. Powell, our 2026 estimated miscellaneous revenues report will answer the majority of your questions. The DLGF estimates only a small portion of the city's miscellaneous revenue.
Right, there's
They are
a lot
all
of
tax-related revenue. The city needs to make its own estimates for all other miscellaneous revenue.
Right,
So that's why
right, and small number or whatever, is relative for the state. There are lots of revenues that, that we, things that we
Correct.
collect money for, copies, and the records, which is, minimal, building permits, things like that.
Are you,
And we
Councilman-
depend on the departments for those estimates.
correct.
okay. Now, my question is, are you basing those numbers off of previous years?
In part, like, for instance, for the building commissioner, they've got a pretty good handle of how many building permits they issue and how many they expect to issue, considering, where Store Estates is, those are going to be building permits. Hopefully, we'll get rolling on the 200 acres or whatever it is out by Country Club Road. That's going to be a lot of building permits. There are other housing developments and other developments that are proposed, more building. So we rely on those departments, but we use historic. I mean, if they don't have a firm handle on it, we generally, take the last several years and see if there's a trend, follow that trend.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, so the budget was filed on the 25th and the 26th, correct?
Okay?
The press conference was the 26th. So at the time of the press conference, you had the information for 4B, correct?
Yes?
And
You
so
had the
at the
information
press
for 4B.
conference, Mayor Ridenhour said that we were $1.4 million
Right.
in deficit. At the press
prop-
conference,
in
hold on, sir.
property
At the press
taxes.
conference, Mayor Ridenhour said $1.4 million deficit to be,
Property
reductions to be
taxes.
addressed, property taxes. He
Yes.
said that we were going to have, so is he still planning to do a hiring freeze? Is he still
Yes.
planning on transitioning people from full-time to part-time?
Yes.
If there's $1 million in savings in the health insurance, then why are we harming our employees? I'm
This
not good
is-
with
we're-
that. I am
he-
not good with,
in
if
a-
we have $1 million in savings, why are we harming our employees?
Because he's having to inject $900,000 of edit funds in order to float the budget. Because he wants to give public safety and the workers for the city of Muncie what I think we all think they deserve.
So, but in doing so, you're harming the other employees. You're giving raises, but you're penalizing everyone that's not public safety by putting a hiring freeze on. You've just said that building commissioners brings in a great deal of money, and yet you're going to be stifling them, stymieing them, and by implementing a hiring freeze. Those things, to me, I'm trying to
I mean, do you not want a
reconcile.
hiring freeze?
And again, that's not good. Councilperson Gullion, please.
No, I don't want a hiring freeze. I mean,
No.
That's
that would
fine
be
with
great
me,
if we
but
could,
I
but
mean,
I'm
if
not
the
saying that it
mayor's-
doesn't have to be done, but of course we don't want it. No one
Right,
wants that.
nobody wants
And what I really don't want is to see part-timers go to
Exactly.
full-time go to part-time and lose their benefits. Then they can't,
Yep.
people can't live that
Right,
way
it
any
would
longer.
it would not be involuntary. This would be voluntary. We've already had at least one person go from full-time to part-time.
At the press conference, when I asked that, the mayor said initially. So that makes me nervous, because that was said, that I asked him if that would be voluntary, and he said initially. My concern is that we're going to back ourselves into a corner when we're going to be asking the public to subsidize our spending even additionally.
The
My
public-
concern is that we are going to be harming the lowest paid members of our staff by our decisions that we're making.
That's right.
That is a concern of mine, and it's a true concern. The idea of someone losing their health care, the idea of others having
Voluntarily?
initially. But my concern is, and my point is, the timeline
mean, there's-
does not match. I'm
There's
talking,
not a
sir,
lot
please
of
don't interrupt me while I'm
staff that
talking.
can be,
Mr. Wagley, please don't, I'm talking.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
But the timeline does not work because Form 4B was filed on August 25th and 26th, and the press conference was August 26th, and the mayor went on the news outlets after that. And so are you saying that he went and said we were going to lose all this money when he knew we weren't? Is that what you're implying? That he falsely said we were going to lose 7%?
No, if you look at the numbers on the DLGF website, you'll see that we're losing $1.4 million in property taxes. Are there ways to pay for it, and are there other ways to pay to replace those property taxes? Yes, there are.
Somewhat indecent.
Yeah.
Councilperson Gullion?
No, I'm not saying anything.
I mean, I don't see how you can think it's disingenuous. We're losing that much money in property tax revenue.
But when we try to talk about the fact that we're losing that much money and the damage that could happen, you, at the last minute, say, but wait, here's $1
You ha-
million that we have at our disposal so that we don't have to do those things.
You would have seen that we don't have to do those things if you'd have looked at Form 4B.
If Form 4B would have been filed on time, I could have looked at Form 4B.
It was there.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Are there other conversations that need to be had? Councilman Green? Councilman Basham?
No,
Councilman McIntosh?
I just wonder, but he's not here to answer that question. How's that going to affect the statement he made about funding the youth center when he's using all the edit funds to subsidize everything else, so.
My concern there, and it could be addressed here, is that the edit will be cutting $800,000 per year from economic activities and $100,000 from other areas to provide ability to move that money to the general fund. I'm hopeful that since Councilman Green was such a strong advocate when we talked about the community center, that he will advocate on behalf of the community center, and the two of you will continue to advocate, and that the mayor will stick to his commitment and provide that $500,000 in funding from the edit that he said he would at the last meeting.
Thank you.
So, just wanted that on the record, sir. President Mason?
No, man.
President, I'm sorry, Mr. Garrett? Councilman Garrett? Gullion, any comment?
Yeah, I do have a comment. I think you have been disingenuous. I believe that the transparency is ridiculous. There's been no transparency. You've not worked with us on this. And, yeah, that's a comment.
Thank you.
I just want to thank everybody on this committee that worked tirelessly. I know this is a little bit tense and but everybody means well on this committee, so thank you for all your hard work. And I think this meeting was, I wasn't really sure, but my personal opinion is that way it gave me insight on how to look at the budget in another way or find another way to come. So thank you.
Good. Councilman Dishman?
Yeah, I'd like to talk to Mr. Wagley and Mr. Wright. How much of these buildings that they've been building here lately, last 4 or 5 years, are coming into our tax base? How much money will we be generating for that? I know a lot of them's 5 and 10 years, but some of them's been over 5 and should be coming into our tax base.
We can work on getting those numbers. I know that housing, that non-residential housing or non-homesteaded property is 2%. Commercial is 3%. Generally, the city nets about 40% of the gross property taxes.
How much do you think the city would be generating in 1 year from the new tax?
The new ones, one the other day that they were discussing, which is just in preliminary phases, it's a couple $100,000. I mean, it's not a ton of money because you're talking about, it looks like a large amount when you look at the assessed value, but then you take, okay, it's commercial property, it's $1 million, well, it's 3% of that, and then we get 40% of that 3%. So, I mean, it adds up, and that's why we need, I'll tell you, that's why we need to increase population
Yeah.
more than we need to increase buildings, because income tax is
Yes.
much more productive than property tax is. And especially with the way SB1 is
Yeah.
formed, is that it ratchets down the revenue
Yes.
as the
Well,
years go
agreed.
on.
And that's
As
something
council
we,
people, we have to look at ways to generate money
Yep.
for the city with the mayor.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
say
Well,
all these-
population growth is key, which of course housing plays into that.
And I used to be a firm believer in tax abatement.
Uh-huh.
Anymore, I don't believe in
think we
tax
can
because
afford it.
you
Yeah.
can't
Right.
get them to comply.
It's a tougher sale now. I mean, it's because things are tight. But businesses are like, well, if I can get a tax abatement here and not here, then, Muncie gets nothing. But with the way property taxes are figured at this point and the way they're going to be figured in the future under SB1, I mean, I think that's a secondary thing.
Yeah.
I mean, your primary thing is to draw people, and we need housing for that. So that's what this administration is working a lot on, is housing.
Yeah.
And market rate housing.
We've lost Borg Warner, Chevy, we lost a lot of tax
Absolutely.
revenue there.
Right.
I know I was out trying to get those apartments
The
behind
mall,
the
the
Sunshine
mall was
Cafe in there.
$20 or $30 million. It's down to $5
Yeah. But like I
assessed
said,
value.
we got to find out how to generate money for the
Yep.
city.
Yep.
Like
Absolutely.
you said, whether it's income or buildings or,
It's a combination of all of them,
Yeah.
but I mean, I think it all starts with housing.
thank you. So some points of clarification. We are going to come back to make those, do we need to take a vote today about those? No, Councilperson Shelby was not comfortable with that, so we will not be doing that. I'm sorry, I just was
That's okay.
running through my head. So we will come back and make those recommendations in real time at the next council meeting. We will be hearing from you in regards to the insurance information from an outside source no later than Friday. Otherwise, we're going to be $974,961 short just to provide the 4% and 5% salaries from 2025 and 2026. Clarification for myself, I email you, Craig, to have questions regarding the budget, and the mayor was responding back. Does he want me to email him the questions over the budget, or can I not?
You can CC him.
Okay, so it just was confusing because he was upset that he was not included in that email, and I just assumed that you would handle questions regarding the budget. I didn't realize that he needed to be answering those. Is there anything else for clarification? Okay, so hopefully by Friday, we will know information about the insurance. Otherwise, 974,961 just to break even. All right.
Thank
I'll
you.
entertain a motion to adjourn. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Thank you, sir. I'm not used to that. Now I will open it up for comments from Mr. Yenser.
Well, there are others here.
Did anyone sign up? Who would like to speak? Let's just, it's
So,
I'll open it up for public comment. My apologies to you, Mr. Yenser.
You should.
I did.
Like the free speech is absolute, and I'm tired of
Amen.
institutions and others saying it's not. But anyway, Rick Yenser, newsman and author. What I've seen here tonight is probably a discussion that means nothing, because over down the street today, when the county approved its budget, they cut out $500,000 on this IU Health deal, where they wanted money up front to go to their clinic when a lot of employees didn't. Matt just said about $70,000 a month. Now, changing that alone will give you the money to operate. And I said before, I don't like seeing edit used for anything but to develop new jobs for business and industry, not to pay cops, not to pay operations, because government has done this too long. And what we need, like Jerry said, we need more jobs. We need more people here. And the way you get them is through jobs. The other thing with the opioid money, now that the city's apparently exhausted the unrestricted money, we still haven't seen a dime of that opioid money go to the people in need, the homeless, the addicted, others that need help. And I found out today from the county that they didn't budget anything for the new mental health center out at the jail. So imagine that. In the meantime, I think you just need to be cool on the property tax relief, because our polling, it was like the county that damned the state for cutting property taxes. Property taxes are out of control. Maybe not what you spend, but what they allow you to raise, because that property value, it's gone up 34% in 5 years, according to Indiana Gateways, up to $2.1 billion, regardless of the loss of factories or retail. And that value is included in people that don't pay property taxes. And you know who was responsible for that? The hospital and the university. They have big values, but they don't pay property taxes. So there, and if you can't get their people to work here in healthcare or higher ed, you lose out the income. But I've noticed going through financials for local government, you're still having an increase in income tax. So use it wisely and basically just let the state decide the budget, because they do it anyway. They control the taxes. They still cap homes, businesses, and farms. And that's where you're really losing money.
Yeah.
Because you're losing millions just because of those caps, because the value is going sky high. And our taxes, whether we're a business, whether we're a homeowner or a farm, we're still paying a lot more. So just
Thank
a
you,
few
sir. I
things
apologize
you
for
need
that.
to know.
Councilperson Gullion.
this is just a comment, and I know it's not, about the opioid. I just wanted to make a comment that the administration still has not appointed anyone to the opioid oversight committee too, so,
Have they given you a timeline?
nope.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Well,
State your name.
Sarah Vitale. I'm with a community organization called Muncie Resists, and there are a few of us at the meeting tonight, and we've been attending these these finance committee meetings, and a lot of us have been attending city council meetings and all sorts of meetings, because we're trying to understand local governance and how the budgets work. And I thought we would ask this question afterwards about where to find 4B, because we're on the computers and on the phone here, and we're looking in the DLGF website, and then we're looking on Municode. We haven't found 4B yet. We don't know if it was in the private part of the DLGF, that you have to have a login to get in. Is that where it is?
I believe that all of until the budget is adopted, it is only visible by the financial controller. We don't even, in previous administrations, the finance committee was given access to that, but this administration does not.
But they said you got Form 4B at a certain point.
On Municode, it's under ordinance 30 30-25, the city budget
We
ordinance.
saw that.
And in the top right corner, there's different there's Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, and then you just gotta.
So I only,
Pick the one that's this way.
okay, I saw one that was called Form 4 and 1 and 2, but I didn't see Form 4B, and we were just looking, but,
Check the very, very end of the,
okay.
of the 45 pages.
And Form B is confusing in that it takes 18 months
Wait,
of,
I thought it was Form 4B.
it's Form 4B, yes.
Okay.
It's confusing in that it tracks the income over 18 months. So it goes from June to December of 2025, and then the incomplete year. So it is.
Well, the point that I wanted to make is, we have a lot of years of education between us, the four of us sitting here. And this is inscrutable. And so I don't know how you guys do it, but you know more than we do. You have some more training. But without good cooperation from the administration, and then we need more education. And so we ask you to help provide it to us. And then we ask the administration to help provide it to us because we want to know so we can comment on these matters of public concern. Yeah, thank you. My comments don't express the views of my employer.
Okay. I just want to make a quick comment to you, Dr. Vitale, is that I am very appreciative of you coming, of anyone coming, and of everyone trying to learn more about this process, because it takes some of the mystery out of it. It can explain some of the things that we do that might seem very arbitrary, but they are hopefully very informed and good, trying to be good stewards of the money. It's a very, very delicate balance between providing services, which is incredibly important, and protecting our employees. And I think you saw a little bit of that tonight. And where that line goes and the things along those lines. But I do appreciate the four of you coming. I appreciate the fact that you're being involved and asking questions. And maybe we can do something in regards to that education component after October the 6th.
We really appreciate the work you're doing as civil servants to shepherd this money carefully and do the best and be as careful as we can with dealing with taxpayer dollars and money of our city.
And may I add?
Yes,
please?
absolutely.
And I, for one, take budgeting very seriously, as every organization should, because in your budget, you set the priorities for your next year.
Yeah.
That's a roadmap for our upcoming year. And when we are asked to do more with less, we have to be very cautious and careful and examine line item by line item.
And when Councilman Basham and I met with Matt, with Mr. Wagley, and with Mr. Wright when we did the Zoom call on August 5th, there was a very real discussion about how tight this was going to process, and we were all very concerned. And we expressed that, exactly what you're saying, Councilman Basham, that we asked the controller and the deputy controller to please prioritize what was important to them in regards to their vision of our community.
Absolutely.
And they, I guess
we
they
did.
have, so, yes.
Hi, I'm Ellen Whitehead. I will also say that my views do not represent the views of my employer. I just wanted to voice my appreciation for the council being willing to defer their raise for next year as a show of good faith for other potential cuts that may be occurring across the budget. And I just wanted to lend my support toward, department heads, or I understand there are those restrictions with elected officials in terms of cutting their salary, but I just wanted to voice my support for other elected officials or for department heads also taking a cut or deferring a raise as a show of good faith.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I don't think that any of us would want to ever do anything that we would not, or to ask anything that we would not be willing to do ourselves. I think, again, it's a drop in the bucket, but it does show that we are all in this together, and we want to face this. And this issue is not a City of Muncie issue. This issue is unfortunately a state issue. It's Mike Braun's issue. The property tax relief that just killed us all. So, financially, it did, I think there are things that do not transition well when they are implemented, and tax caps was one of them in 2010. We are still losing money from that, $28 million over our entire budget. We are one of the three